$6,700 a month is $81K a year, bro. Anyway, so you're still making $14,000 more than the average person in your city.
That boy is his daddy's son.
100%. You ugly. You your daddy's son. Hey.
All right, so 50 Cent and his son Marquise go tit for tat, back and forth on the internet. So last week, 25-year-old Marquise Jackson received backlash for his quote from his Instagram live video about a month back, where he said $6,700 a month in the state of New York City. He said in the state of New York City isn't enough to live off of.
Right.
Many were upset with this because he's still 25, receiving $81,000 a year, and him obviously saying $6,700 a month isn't enough.
Right.
Being a troll that he is, 50 responded with where he posted an Instagram clip from his show Power, where his character Kanan kills his son Sean for betraying him. This prompted Marquise, Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, to respond with an Instagram post of his own, where he was sitting in front of the money that spelled out entitled. Entitled. His caption says, "Since y'all think $6,700 is a lot of money, tell my pops I'll pay him $6,700 for just 24 hours of his time, so we can do everything I ever wanted to do with him as a kid. Red, yellow, green, whatever color he liked." That boy is his daddy's son.
100%. You ugly. You your daddy's son. Hey.
So Sticks, man, how we feeling about Marquise's comments on the $6,700?
This little nigga is a dummy, bro. He's a dummy. This story, researching this story, bro, made me so mad, bro. Because I'm like, $6,700 a month is $81K a year, bro. Most people, do you know what the average annual salary is in New York City?
Probably $45,000.
$67K, which is $5,500 a month. This man is getting in support, which child support is just that, support.
Yep.
Support, my nigga.
Support.
So you're making in support $1,200 more than what the average New Yorker is making in their actual fucking job. So whenever you put that tweet out that you was entitled, you fucking right, you entitled, my boy. Because that shit is so, bro. And he was on, so the live that he did was with dude Choke No Joke. He owns his own little podcast too. He went on Instagram Live with Choke No Joke.
Respect.
And old boy facts. And he was Choke asked him the question, where was your mom's? He was like, she has to bear the other half of this support. Because if your dad is giving $6,700, where's your mom $6,700 at? If you want to live this lavish lifestyle that you keep talking about you need to live, because he kept going on and on and on about, I'm a rapper's son. Most people ain't privy to that lifestyle. I deserve that lifestyle. I'm like, bro, you don't deserve shit that your dad did.
Right.
First off, especially with you publicly chastising this man at every chance you get. You don't deserve shit. And I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later. Like, he's had plenty of opportunities to, number one, make amends with 50, and number two, pick 50's brain as to how he can also be successful in his own life. And bro, like, what you think, bro? What's your feelings on this, bro? Because I could go on all day, but what you think?
I know you can. I just think it's funny all day. That a 25-year-old is talking about $6,700 a month isn't enough. Now, I know, and if you look at the context of what he actually said, he said $6,700 in New York isn't enough to live off of. I can see some validity in that, but there's plenty of people that live in New York, as you just mentioned, that don't make $6,700 a month and they make do, right?
Facts.
So a 25-year-old man, because that's what he is, a 25-year-old man is saying $6,700 a month isn't enough to live off of. To me, that obviously means that you ain't went out and worked on your own to
a
get it.
day in his life.
And then 2, bro, it's $6,700 of free money.
Free untaxed. So, bro, that's net, nigga. So imagine if that shit was gross. Yeah. If he grossed, bro, if that shit is already taken out, the government takes their cut immediately before that shit is even deposited into her account. So you probably that gross amount is probably like $10,000. Yeah, that's 120 grand that you're getting, basically, but you're netting $81,000. $81,000 is a lot of money anywhere. I wouldn't say a lot, but it's manageable anywhere in the nation.
All right, so
anywhere
before this inflation hit, it was said that if you polled 1,000 people and actually asked them how much money it required for them to be happy in most pockets of or corners of the United States,
most the average was 7 figures, I'm sure.
No.
Oh, okay. The average was what? Go ahead.
The actual average was $75,000. To be happy and feel like you comfortable, $75,000. Now, this is not talking about kids and all that. This is saying on an individual basis, and that's what Marquis, the situation he's in right now, is he's single. He might have a girlfriend, we don't know, or but he definitely doesn't have kids.
According to the Instagram live, he does have a girlfriend.
He does. Okay, so him and his girl, $75,000. He's getting $81,000. If you were to talk about the people poll from a couple years ago before inflation hit, $75,000. He's getting 81. He's good.
He's good, bro. But see, my thing is this. Then if $81K ain't enough to live in New York, nigga,
go get a job. Yeah.
Number one, go get a job.
Let's go back to that one, because if he moves from New York, he would no longer get that $6,700 because New York.
Well, true shit because it would change depending on it would change depending on what state he goes to. So we have to go through those.
See, I don't know how child support law works.
So
he doesn't. Hey, I don't want to put your business out there.
But no. But see, the crazy thing is that I no longer live in North Carolina. Neither does Sam's mom.
Yeah,
and my shit stayed the same.
Okay,
so I don't think it matters where you are. It just goes to pertain upon that state that you actually filed the papers in.
Okay, so in this case, I believe New York is one of the only states to where you can still receive child support until 26.
Until 26. Okay, I had no idea that.
Yeah.
I think did he just recently turn 26? He just recently turned 25 recently.
25, I believe.
Okay, so he's gonna be receiving this support for another year, for another 12 months, which is another $81,000 he's fit to get.
Right. Yep. All right. So go ahead.
But see, my guy. But it's like, so my thing was if it's not enough, 81K is manageable anywhere, and just like you said, you had that poll of 1,000 people. 1,000 people said 75,000 is comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So if you get 81K, if you feel like it's not enough in New York, nigga, move to Delaware, move to New Hampshire, move to North Carolina, move to south. Move south somewhere to where it's a little bit more reasonable. The cost of living ain't as high.
Yep.
But just like I said, the average person in New York makes 67K anyway. So you're still making 14,000 more than the average person in your city.
Mm-hmm.
So you should be straight. And people are managing in New York. So how can you not manage over 14,000 more than the average person? You're just fucking entitled as fuck. But it's like man. So he asked the question on that same live. He asked the question to Choke No Joke. He was like, if you had nothing, could you rebuild your life with $6,700?
What kind of question was that?
But
because if you have nothing, anything you get is like a blessing.
It's gonna have you to rebuild.
You're gonna make that thing shake. You know what I'm saying?
It shake.
Like 67,000, 6,700
a month,
man,
bro.
Come on, bro.
Come on, man. If I get $6,700 a month, right? Because, bro, $6,700 a month is enough to live anywhere. You can legit rebuild your life from ground zero. Yeah. And somebody say, okay, cool. For the next 18 years, I'm gonna give you $6,700.
Right.
I'm Gucci.
No doubt. I mean, again, if we look at the context of what he was saying, he's saying he wants to live the life
that lavish lifestyle
that his father did, because in that same interview with Choke No Joke, he says, we're talking about a Forbes lister, talking about his dad. We're talking about a guy that had beef with everybody in the industry, so you can't just live anywhere. Okay, I get that. but most people he had beef with ain't worried about you, bro.
Facts. I was just about to say that it's beef that he personally has with everybody. They're not worried about you. You can live wherever the fuck you want to. He needs that solidarity, not you, bro.
Right.
Like, you don't need that. They're not coming. If he does have beef with anybody, they're not coming after Marquise.
Yeah,
they're coming after Curtis, nigga.
Right.
Like
and if you look on the other side of the fence, to play as our boy 19 Key say, to play God's advocate. If you look on the other side of the fence, most women would say, okay, yeah, his father lives that life, or I won't say women, most people that have those views, they say his father lives that lifestyle. Why shouldn't he live that lifestyle? I mean, that's not, you can't. So just because you are your father's child doesn't mean you get to do the things that your father does. Because as you mentioned, Sticks, he has had a strange relationship with. He has a strained relationship with his father since he was 11. I think he said
like 10
or
years
11. So I my father, I don't have a great relationship with my biological father.
I didn't either.
I don't have any issues with him, but I will never publicly humiliate that man in any way. So just because Marquise has had that strained relationship, he's also added fuel to the fire, and that's what I was trying to say last week when I was struggling to get the words. Adding fuel to the fire, he goes on these rants on social media about his father, and so as a father, I got to give you $6,700 a month, and then you still disrespect me. You think I'm gonna help you out even more? Come on now, you tripping.
And the crazy thing is that 50 has tried to. 50 has tried to help this man. Like, so did you hear the story about the shoe store?
Yeah, the shoe. Yeah, I did. Yep. Go ahead, tell it.
Bro, so in 50's book, he referenced a time where he was riding down 125th in Harlem, and it was a shoe store that was going out of business. So he stopped and was talking to the guy that owned the shoe store. He was like, hey, you know what's going on? Why are you going out of business? He was like, well, I picked the wrong location. I'm not getting enough foot traffic, so I got to relocate. So 50 was like, well, so what you going to do with the shoes? You know what I'm saying? While you try to figure out your next steps. He was like, oh, no, I think I'm just going to store them in my basement until I figure out my next step. So 50 being the business-minded man that he is, he immediately thought of Marquise and was like, yo, my son loves shoes. This could be an opportunity for him to not only love, to only go into the shoe business, or love shoes that he has can afford him to go into the shoe business. And not too many shoe stores start off with free inventory.
Right.
So he calls Marquise and he's like, hey, I said, I bought out this shoe store. I got a couple hundred pairs of shoes. You know what I'm saying? You love shoes. How about we start an online sneaker boutique? And of course, Marquise had all the right things on the phone. 50 gave him all the knowledge and all the plans and dropped everything for him. Had the shoes shipped to Atlanta. Never heard anything else from Marquise again. How do you have a Forbes list father that gifts you with a business? Not only is he giving you $6,700 a month still, but also gives you a business to capitalize off that $6,700, to build on top of that $6,700. But then come to find out, he didn't hear from Marquise again. Shoes just sitting in a warehouse in Atlanta. But then his mom calls 50 and was like, hey, we think about starting a sneaker boutique. Can you send the money for us to open up this boutique in the mall down here in Atlanta? And 50 was like, this is just her way of keeping him young, still keeping him young, keeping him a little boy, keeping it from becoming a man, because this is the only man that she has in her life. So why not keep him as young as possible?
Yeah.
So, bro, it's so stupid. It's so dumb, bro. Like, he's just such a little fucked up little bitch ass little kid, bro. He made me so mad researching this fucking story, bro. He did, bro. Did you know at one point he was giving them $25K a month?
Giving who? Oh, yeah,
Marquise and his mom.
Yeah.
Up until 10 years old, this man was giving Marquise and his mom $25K a month up until 10 years old.
Up until 10?
Yes. $25K a month. It said, I got it written down right here. It says at one point he was actually getting about $25K a month. And Marquise said that was before his mother got greedy and was on the brink of taking 50 to court. But 50 took himself to court, and he ended up being ordered to pay only the $6,700. His mom Deuce was trying to double the 25 to $50K a month, bro.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. You don't have to, but it would be nice to reward those that came with you or that went along the journey with you to get to where you are today. And so in this instance, I'm referring to 50 Cent's girlfriend who had Marquise at the time. But when they do wild stuff, why should you reward anyone that is basically trying to be a detriment to your character and to who you are and the money that you that you have for them? I mean, that you've made and are providing for them.
Bro, it's so crazy, bro. And they go back to that story about 50 taking himself to court. The day after, well, before he left the court, he was ordered to still pay the back child support for those 10 years prior to that court sentence. So he still had to give him and his mom $804,000.
That's crazy.
And because in any state, like anything that you've done before you were court ordered to pay child support is considered gifts.
Yeah.
So those 25,000 a month that he was giving them was considered gifts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he was still ordered to pay back child support for those 10 years, which is 804,000, and then still was giving him 67,000 up until here recently. So it's like, bro, like the little boy's retarded, bro. The little boy's retarded.
So all right, let's get off of that topic real quick, and I'm gonna ask you a question.
What up?
How do you feel about 50 trolling his kid?
I thought it was out of pure comedy, and I'm gonna talk about another interview that I saw too. But I thought it was just him being funny. It was like, yo, like you wanna publicly humiliate me? I mean, shoot, I'm the troll king. We can go back and forth type thing. I don't think it was. It was definitely to prove a point. I don't necessarily think it was out of malice, honestly. But what did he say? That he was in the pool, he was in the tub watching the little joint. He turned the TV. I was like, that boy's stupid. What did he say? He was smoking a cigar. So that boy's stupid. That boy dumb. He's stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how you 25 and can't live off $600-700 a month? Boy, you stupid. And then he goes to the door.
I remember that. Yeah.
And Tony Yayo was like, hey, I mean, I don't, it's kind of hard times, man. I'm just trying to see if you could drop me like a little $600-700. You know what I'm saying? Like, just trolling. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just, to me, it was funny.
Yeah.
Because you got your son out here all over the internet talking big shit. And then he put out a little, 30-second clip of him trolling. I mean, I think it was all out of fun. I mean, but he also had an interview where he was talking about his son, and the dude asked 50, he was like, do you still love Marquise? He was like, I used to. So he doesn't even have it in his heart to even, he doesn't even love his son anymore.
Yep. And so
you know what I'm saying?
The clip that I was talking about, the post that I was talking about is to me a direct reflection of his relationship with Marquise. From the clip I'm referring to is from Power, where he offs his son in the show for betraying him. It's reflective of their relationship, his relationship with Marquise. Like you said, he said, I used to love my son. So he feels like doing all of this, what Marquise has been doing, he's truly starting to portray him. I feel a little bit different than you. I know it's all in fun, and 50 is the king of trolling. He's probably up there with the best of them, but somebody has to be the adult in this situation.
Very true. He stooped down to his level. I agree with you.
And we just talked about how Marquise's mom is trying to keep him as young as possible. It seemed like 50 trying to keep himself as young as possible too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I could dig it.
He gotta chill and like try to have some type of relationship with his son to where, well, I'll say try again to have a relationship with his son. Now, I have not been in a situation where my children are old enough to tell me or do anything harmful to me as an individual, or defame my name. So I don't know how I would feel in that situation, but from the outside looking in, I think he should try one more time to have some type of relationship with Marquise and smooth it over, because it's obvious to me that Marquise is hurting because he didn't have whatever relationship he thought he was supposed to have with 50. And money aside, his rebuttal to 50's post and to the public about how we feel about him saying $6,700 is enough was like checkmate to me. Because he's like, since y'all think $6,700 a month, tell my dad I'll give him $6,700 for 24 hours to do all the things that I didn't get to do with him as a kid. So,
I can dig that. I can dig that because I mean, to be honest, well, I can't even say that. I was about to try to back him up with a little story about myself, but I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't feel that. I don't feel that same sentiment towards my dad, so I really can't say that because I honestly do think, and now that we're talking about it and going through it, I do think that he's lashing out because he's hurt that he doesn't have that relationship, and he really honestly wants that relationship with his dad, and I think that's probably why he's lashing out, and he's trying to, and he's doing what Candace Owen and Ye did. He's drawing attention to himself to have that platform to speak and say, "Hey, Dad, I really need you. Like I really need this relationship with you." And I think I can agree with that. And of course, I was hot. I was heated. I kept looking at stuff. I was like, "Yo, this boy is so fucking stupid." But like, it helps whenever you can sit down and talk to your brother about a situation and say, "Hey, you know what? I can see it from a different lens." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, bruh, but I was so mad at Marquise whenever I was researching. I was like, "You're the dumbest little fucking pussy ass little entitled little bitch ass boy I have ever seen in my life, dog."
Yeah, like, you hot about this one, boy.
Man, I was mad because I have a 15-year-old girl, man, and I support my little girl. I moved cross country to support mine. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if Sam was to ever come out her mouth saying that my dad ain't doing what he's supposed to do and he ain't doing this and man, listen. You know what I'm saying? Like me and her gonna have to have it. She would never.
Yeah,
that's my dog. That's my heart.
You've proven that you're willing to do whatever.
And but me and her would have to have a serious sit down and talk. Like, hey, dog, like where is this coming from? Like, tell me where I'm falling short because obviously I'm not doing something that you need me to do. So where am I falling short? And maybe that's what 50 needs to do with Marquise.
And
where did I fall short?
That's exactly what I was gonna say to end that thought for you. But so all that being said, your final thoughts on this whole situation that 50 and Marquise are going through?
My final thoughts would be, like I said, Marquise is using his platforms as a way to reach out to his dad and kind of draw attention. The way he's going about it is kind of stupid, but all he really had to do is honestly just ask. You know what I'm saying? He didn't have to publicly humiliate 50. He didn't have to go out and say all of these things about the child support and this and the third. He didn't have to say that. If he really wanted to get the attention of his dad, all he had to do was ask for it. Because I'm pretty sure 50 would be more than willing to say, "All right, son, let's figure this out." You know what I'm saying? But it's been
that ask too.
Right, facts. But it's been so long that this has been going on and he's been kind of like talking shit about his dad, or hasn't been showing that he's really trying to have that relationship or even trying to like figure his own life out. That 50 is probably just like, you know what, bro, like it is what it is. But just to go back to your point, I think 50 needs to be more of an adult and then just say, you know what, son, let's sit down and hash this out and figure out how we can have more of a relationship, because that's all Marquise really wants for real.
Yep. 100%. And I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. You said everything I would have said, probably better than what I would have said. As far as the 6,700 statement that he made, feel like while 6,700 isn't what it used to be, it's still 6,700 free money that he's getting. He didn't have to put any type of labor in to get that money or put that type of labor out to get that money. So that's great. So if Marquise feels like that amount of money isn't enough to live on, then he needs to reevaluate some of the things that he's spending his money on, because on some, and this is not no knock on him, but in those lives that he was doing, he's smoking on a hookah. Is that if you can't afford to live off of 6,700, should you actually have been doing hookah and all that stuff?
And then some of them statements that 50 was making, he caught his son in a jewelry store buying diamond chains with the money.
Yeah, so there you go. So obviously,
he also made a statement too. Like he was like, I guess I don't know if it was on like a TV show or something that 50 was doing. He was on the phone with Marquise's mom, and he was talking about how
the shoes,
some boy, the 50 shoes, and he was like, "Well, you can't have 50." The mom was like, "Well, you can't have 50, but I'll get you 20."
Right. Yeah.
But you don't need that. But in another instance too, if $6,700 ain't enough to supplement what you're trying to do with your life, then you have to put money on top of that. Get you a job, get you a trade. You know what I'm saying? So that way,
That's my final sentence. Is what I was gonna say was just get you a job, man. Pick up you something.
Because then you can have the lifestyle you want. If you're willing to work for the lifestyle you want, that 6,700 can jumpstart you to your lifestyle.
Right.
You know, whatever money that that 6,700 will pay your bills, pay your car note, pay everything that you need, and then the money you make from your own trade or your own job can be the money for your lifestyle, my boy. Mm-hmm. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But do it. Get up and do it. Don't be a lazy little fucking entitled little prick, punk. It's a damn punk. Anyway, go ahead.
Nah, that's it. That was my final thought. You wrapped up that with a bow and delivered it to whoever it needed to be delivered to.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't have that much empathy in your heart for these people in Mississippi that you couldn't say, you know what, don't give me that bread.
Right. He has too many connections to individuals that have already pled guilty to wrongdoing with the money. And so, you know, the saying always goes, you are who you hang around. If he's going to say he did not know this was going on, he needs to pick new friends.